I read that you and your wife were on this terrifying Lufthansa flight. It dropped, what, 4,000 feet, 7,000 feet, something?
Captain said it dropped 4,000 feet.
What does that feel like?
It's suspended disbelief. I mean, it's zero gravity. Your red wine and the glass and the plates that your food was on are all suspended, floating still, just in the air. And to look at it for that long, which wasn't that long, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, and then everything just comes crashing down. Yeah, it was a hell of a scare. A complete loss of control. You're complete 100% feeling of I am not in control. I have no way to get control of this situation in the moment.
Did you look at each other? Did you say anything to each other?
Right after, yes. I mean, it actually, my tray table is what held me down. I did not have my seatbelt on. And there was not a seatbelt warning right before it happened. Yeah, I just immediately reached over, made sure Camilla had her seatbelt on, held hands there, just saying, okay, is that it? Is there another one coming? Another one did come. It was odd. You hear people's reactions. Some people were ghost silent. Some people had big burst of laughter. And it was not like, oh, this is fun. It was like, I've just got to deal. I'm in shock. Mm-hmm. And then, you know how it is on a plane. If you see the flight attendant not looking extremely confident, you're like, uh-oh. You know what I mean?
Right. It's the only place my eye goes, the flight attendant.
Always.
Right. So we had to reroute to Washington Dulles that night. I was on my way to Vietnam, actually, which I finally did make it. But yeah, it was the hairiest flight I've ever had by far.
And I'm assuming your kids were not on the flight?
No, they were not.
So thank God for that. You know, you can't help but put yourself in the position of you and Camilla, right? The two of us would have assumed that this was it. This was the end. And we would have been glad that we were together, but we would have been filled with sorrow that we couldn't say goodbye to our kids. And is the will updated? And who did we leave our kids to again? Like all of that comes into your mind, right?
Well, I didn't project that far ahead. I didn't do that much math. Now that you say it, I think most of that stuff is in line. I also, as a person who's not a pilot, my mind goes to the actual engineering of the plane, the steel, and it buckled, and you go, how can something withstand that? I happen to have a friend of mine sitting next to me who was a pilot.
Wow.
And he was calm as could be. He was like, and I was like, can the plane hold that? And he was like, these things are so tested that, yes, don't worry about the plane. Structurally, it can hold that. That was a big relief.
Do you always fly with your own pilot, just in case?
From now on, I always have my own pilot, right? The wife to the left, the pilot to the right.
You know, people always say God is my co-pilot. Matthew's like, no, my co-pilot is actually my co-pilot.
I did check, and I was like, if something's wrong, can you fly this thing? And he was like, no problem.
No problem.
And I was like, great. Love to hear that. Oh.
That is a valuable friend. Albert, we gotta talk. We have to talk.
I'll give you a parachute.
Yeah. Albert would access the emergency exit, whether it was needed or not, and we would all get sucked out one at a time.